Thursday, the 22nd of August. Let's get Business Morning started live here on Channels Television. I am Bosin Amafaye. Look at, of course, the big story is Mr. President unbundled and restructured the cabinet and make new appointments. He allocated the names of cabinet ministers. He also promoted some aides and restructured their portfolios. Take a look at what happened yesterday in summary. 14 ministers returned to their former portfolios. 5 new ministers created. 5 new ministries were created. Finance gets budget and national planning now bundled together. Power ministry was taken out of works and housing, and the aviation separated from transportation. Police affairs now becomes a standalone federal ministry, while there's a new ministry in charge of humanitarian affairs, disaster management, and social development. And of course, Mr. President retains the portfolio as the petroleum minister. Yesterday, the president also reappointed and promoted Dr. Jumoke Oduwole as special advisor to the president on the ease of doing business. Jumoke is also the secretary to the president on the Enabling Business Environment Council, known as PEBEC. So how did the market react to yesterday's new ministers? The stock market moved up about 1.1%. Analysts at United Capital says that the initial euphoria from the market was about 0.6%. Then the market finished off 1.1% stronger as the Osha Index took that. The market took the cabinet swearing in with some positivity, perhaps with the expectation that with the hasty fiscal policies and implementation of plans might revive Nigeria's lackluster economic growth. United Capital went on to say that they expect more hands-on portfolio ministers that directly relate to the day-to-day running of the economy, namely finance, budget, and national planning. What's the opinion of folks at United Capital? Well, the opinion was that there is absolutely nothing too much to cheer from the new. It says nothing overly exciting, to quote the exact words, nothing overly exciting about the new cabinet until the elected ministers dig holes in the ground and get to repairing the Nigerian economy. So let's break it down to 3 broad pillars. Who is who in the cabinet, the team, what work are they expected to do, and what are the expected results? And here we have the economist and policy analyst, Channel's economic counselor, Rewane, who is also the chief executive officer at Financial Derivatives Company, is live here in the studios with us this morning. Mr. Rewane, thank you so much, and we appreciate your insight and perspectives into some of these big stories when they happen. The first of what you said is that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Why do you think this quote is very opposite to this conversation and the development we have on our hands?
John Baptist Kerr, who said this a couple of centuries ago, was very clear that every time you want to effect change, you end up at times going back to where you started. So yes, there was change. Yes, there's next level. But do not forget that if the structure does not change, the outcome will not change.
What you saw, or what was announced yesterday, was that a change in structure and the unbundling of some ministries and recoupling together of others and creation of other ones. Is that the restructuring you're talking about?
No. Structural change does not necessarily mean organizational change. What you had was an organizational change, moving things around for the convenience. It is strategy that drives structure, not structure that drives strategy. Fundamental rules. But let's step back a minute and say, what do we have? We have 14 old ministers coming back, and we have 29 new ministers. So in all, you have 25% of the cabinet who returned. We have 36 men and 7 women. Last time we had 6 women out of 36. So you had 6%, but now you have almost 7% women. Last time you had 11 lawyers. Now you have 7 lawyers. Last time you had 40% of the cabinet were politicians and 60% more or less technocrats. Now you have a difference. You have almost 54% of the people politicians as known practicing politicians. you have 2 accountants, and you have 2 oil experts. So that's what you have. Now, there are 4 distinct teams. There's the fiscal team, which means Zainab Ahmed, the Minister of Finance, Budget, and there's the Investment and Industry and Trade Minister, Nia Adebayo, and then there's Timpri Silva, who runs the Petroleum Ministry. That's the fiscal team. This is where the revenues, this is where the spending, this is where the investment is going to take place. You have the infrastructure team, without which the fiscal team is useless. So the infrastructure team is Amechi, Fashola, Suleiman, and Godswill Akpabio, and the others. Then you have the control and enforcement team. This is critical. Control and enforcement team means the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Interior, the Defense Minister, the Police Affairs Minister. These guys are going to secure and enforce. So no matter what you do, if you have no control and enforcement, then it's...
President Buhari's administration, and he keeps talking about the 3 pillars, which is economy, insecurity, and anti-corruption. So this ministerial structure, do you think this structure
it tries to address this, but there's one element which is called the services. No matter what, services are health, education, and all the other things. So you have to use your investments, you have to use your infrastructure to provide services to the people. So what we're talking about looks academic, but what the viewers out there want to know: 1, what as Nigerians do we have? 2, what do we want? And most importantly, and the most difficult decision, is the difference between what you have and what you need. You might want a Mercedes-Benz car, but what you need is a bicycle. What you have, what you can afford, is all. So that disconnect, that total misunderstanding of the understanding is an issue which, as Nigerians, we have to come to terms with. We say we're an oil-producing country, but oil production per head, per capita in Nigeria, 0.06, that is less than a barrel. That's 300 naira. Whilst in Saudi Arabia, you are talking about almost $17 per head. If you shut down Saudi Arabia and say, okay, just divide oil revenue, every Saudi Arabian will get $17 per head because their population is 32 million. In Angola, which is just around the corner, the average oil revenue per head is $3, while we are getting 60 cents. And Kuwait makes it more interesting. Kuwait is $39 per head.
Bigger than Saudi Arabia.
Everybody. So when you say we are oil producers, they are oil producers and they are oil producers.
Is this ministerial structure for the next level, Mr. Rewane? Is this, because the next level is about what Mr. President says, delivering growth and laying the foundation for 10 million jobs
a year for 10 years.
For the next 10 years.
Yeah,
do you think this cabinet, the new ministerial playbook, will be able to deliver that?
How are they going to do it? I think the president has laid out what his vision is. But the thing is that 10 years is a long time. Nigerians can't wait for 10 years. They can't even wait for 10 months. They want results now. So what is going to be on the table 10 days from today or 10 weeks from today? Am I going to be able to pay my rent 10 weeks from today? Am I going to be able to get a job 10 weeks from today? I'm not interested in 10 years. So, Mr. President, very good. We like this, but we want some immediate deliverables. How is it going to get immediate deliverables? First and foremost, right? There has to be that fiscal and monetary coordination to be able to unlock and deliver results. There has to be, we have to manage our expectations. There are a lot of people who think, and a right of entitlement, that because I'm a Nigerian, I'm an oil-producing country, therefore I have a right to... No, you have no right to that. You have a right to have opportunities to be able to produce. So you go back to what is total factor productivity or to labor productivity. Those are negative right now. We've got to turn that around. And so what does Mr. President and his team have to understand? That There is the control and command economy. The days of economic protectionism, the days of controls and restrictions and all of that, that will automatically force you to change your investment behavior, what we call the investment function. That time is over. Our strategy, I'm not saying throw the bat with the babywater and therefore, open up the ban for everybody, because that's, they always tell you it's not a binary choice between a controlled economy and a free, a totally free market economy, laissez-faire. No. There's what we call a mixed economy. The mixed economy is accepting the good part of the private sector as an equal, if not senior partner, and government actually providing some support. Because without increased investment, you are going nowhere. The growth, economic recovery and growth plan says we should be growing by 6% to cover full employment and grow by 8 to 9% to transform the economy. You are not going to get this if investment remains at $66 billion. You need to get there, you need to get investment up to about 120, 140. And please get it clear. Government spending is not equal to investment. There is investment, private sector investment, there's government investment, and then there's the investment multiplier, which allows you to actually lift income
poverty,
and growth.
Yes, and growth.
And I think that is...
Do you think, if we try to spot the difference between 2015 and 2019 cabinet, do you think Mr. President has learned anything in his first 4 years in the way he unbundled and restructured some portfolio and create new ones?
Yes. I think, like I said, when we looked at fiscal controls, infrastructure, and services.
So I'm trying to spot the difference here.
So what he's trying to do, create police affairs. So policing the country, interior, merging planning and finance, which is what it was before, right? Now, these are portfolio changes. But you have to deal with the people. So how do you evaluate people's capacity to deliver? Because yesterday there were a lot of parties and celebrations and all of that. But that is presumptuous. We have not even started and we are celebrating. Some people, some chickens will break their feet before the real music begins. Now, do these people have the capacity and credibility, right? And, pedigree to deliver? One. I think that evaluation, let's not evaluate people before they start. Let's give them a chance to go in there and deliver.
How much chance do you think we should give them? This is August. Should we start taking, marking and teeing off the boxes from the 1st of January next year? Would that be too early or too late?
Too late.
Too late?
Look,
so you're thinking about maybe 100 days?
Well, look.
The traditional 100 days.
You see, if you have not eaten for 2 days and say, okay, let me give you time to go and buy the food to cook. By the time you come back from the kitchen, from the market, the man is dead. We don't have that time. So I would say that by end of September, we must start asking questions.
Crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
We want to see deliverables. We can't wait. It is when there's teeth in the mouth that you give a man cola not to eat.
Again, this is an administration in continuity anyway.
Yes.
From first time to second
so
time.
It's there.
So
the permanent secretaries,
change of, yes.
Permanent secretaries are there. People are there. Whether you like it or not, people are asking and they're demanding, and rightfully so, where's our minimum wage? President signed it in April. We're going into September. Deliver it now so that consumption will increase, investment will increase, and people can now begin to sit back and say, oh yes, this is what that's why, if you come back to the impact of this team on the indicators.
Because Mr. President's record as Nigeria's president is hinged on this new and final cabinet.
Yes.
Unless he changes them somewhere before the 4 year comes to an end.
Of course, he will change. Some of them are going to go into politics, so some of them have to leave, right? So 4 years is handing over date. Mr. President will be judged before this administration becomes lame duck. right, in 12 months. He has a maximum of 12 months or maybe 14, 15 months, by which time it becomes yesterday's news. So he has to deliver today. Today. He has to. That's why he's working much harder now than ever. So let's go back to some of the indicators. It's very important.
Yes.
That we look at this.
Try to get the the cabinet impact
the
and
GDP
expectations
growth
and reality.
Expectations of Mr. President is about 3 to 3.7% for now. That's what he expects to deliver next year. We think that because there's been some time wasting on all that, we will get to 2.2, 2.3, right? Not bad, but still suboptimal. The exchange rate, multiple exchange rates of 305, they try to keep it 305, 360, but you know what happened in the FMDQ market and all that. There's pressure already.
There's serious pressure because yesterday the bond auction fell seriously down. The DMO went to the market offering 150 billion naira. Investors bought only 20 billion.
Yes.
In fact, it's the worst bond offering we've seen in
the subscription
recent times.
Was less than 20% of what was
offered. So which means that investors, portfolio investors, are not really in tune
They're
with
not
us
impressed.
at the moment.
So
there's a pressure also coming on the naira here.
No, you see, investment is about what you do, not what you say. You can sing from now to tomorrow, except people are convinced that the uncertainty factor is reduced. And people are saying, Jesus Christ, yes, I see something in it. So you're going to be having these contradictions that manifest themselves from time to time. So the exchange rate management philosophy is not driven by what you want, but by what you need. We need a unified exchange rate. We don't need multiple exchange rate practices. We are going to get there, I think. Oil production, I just talked about it. We are at 1.75.
And if IRS also says, well,
yeah, they want additional revenue.
Tax revenue is not coming because
oil production is down, profits are down.
And prices are...
And external reserves were as high as 45, but we are now going drip, drip, drip. We're at 44.19. We'll probably go down to about 42, 43. Unemployment numbers have not been released for some time. We are 23.1. We think we'll go to 25, and that's where we think we are.
So let's look at results, risks, and the next level, just to wrap it up in about 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, the results, the impact of the fact that you now have a team, it's better to have a team than to have no team. And it's better to have a good team than to have a bad team. So you have a team, and I'm not going to judge, monetary policy and fiscal policy will be coordinated, so we will have some direction. Though I think that you will have more forest restrictions and economic patriotism because the things outside our control are more than the things within our control. There will be, I suspect, additional borrowing, international borrowing, right? Because you just have to survive. Unfortunately, I think the stock market will weaken a little bit more, right? Because of uncertainty. And there will be a lot of emphasis on infrastructure. And luckily, you have Governor Fashola, Governor Amechi, and others who are seasoned people. They would hit the road running. But in the end, what you will see is that everybody will execute the budget that has been approved immediately. The president is going to insist, the chief of staff is going to insist, we want results now. Because they are listening to this program. They know the pressure is there. We are going to ask, and we are going to put the government under pressure to deliver. Because if they don't deliver, I cannot travel, I cannot drive on this road without being kidnapped, and I don't want to be kidnapped. So,
me too.
Yeah, no
problem. I just need to say that. So, I put it out there for everyone, just in case the kidnappers are listening.
Yeah.
Just take our names off the list. but that's just interesting.
But full implementation of the minimum wage. Specific guidelines on the forex restriction, so it's not, we don't know when and all of that.
A lot of certainty.
And then preparation of the budget of 2020.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're already in August.
Sure.
Okay. 2020 budget. Quite a lot of work.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the first word here on the President Buhari's Cabinet Playbook for 2023.